forgot this mention of my last video, so this is going to be a part two. So, all right. So the reason why, because I'm gonna let me explain. So I have mentioned because mention of a problem of Brad Pitt was after the Golden Globes, and he went attending along with the cast and crew of Babylon, except only have a few people. Because after that, all of them pissed him off. Many few people said shout out to Brad Pitt, including Oscar Abrams, who's a who good friend for him since work in before in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but now and Oscar Abrams become the huge star. All thanks for the performance in the Baz Luhrmann's film Elvis. But after that, many social media, especially on Twitter, pissed him off because for abuse problems. There's calling Brad Pitt was abuser, and I pretty much did anyone. There's also rumor that then Brad had a new girlfriend. He haven't dating since the after party of Babylon, but I think I haven't we haven't reviewed good about. I think the problem of the media outlets or paparazzis didn't care about her Brad Pitt's new girlfriend, and then he literally called out abuser. So he's abuse with the ex-wife Angelina Jolie. So I think this problem, I have a no one problem of this pretty because like I said in the last video, Babylon flopped at the box office because for Brad Pitt abused her ex-wife, Angelina Jolie. So I have to say, many people was like, if he wanted, he got a lawsuit. So I would say this Brad Pitt was going to be fine, but worse. I mean, this is 2022 was a industry year for him because he had two massive hit film, and another was a box office failure film. He also produced the disappointed failures, one that flopped in the box office, and the other was a straight to Netflix. But and also he had a production company, but he had a production company, Plan B, was sold to another company. So why Brad Pitt could become downhill after the two biggest hits in the career? One is a cameo, glorified cameo, while the other was a lead role. But unfortunately, and then it made it downhill because of abuse problems, including Blonde was he starring with his Mary Monroe's biopic that people didn't care. It got divisive critics and calling stupid and awful and disturbing film. I think I would say to I think Brad Pitt was still got problems with her ex-wife Angelina Jolie. So I would say again, do not watch Babylon in theaters because they have the abuse in it. And I had a mention of one mentions he had improvised. Marco said that he got kissing scene with Brad was improvised. And guess what? He was the same guy who literally abused her. He was Brad Pitt was abuser, and he literally abused her ex-wife Angelina Jolie. So I would say I'm not interested to see this until February. But if you want to say why do people watch this movie and why I love this movie, especially cinephiles, but that movie is amazing for cinemas people, but people didn't like it because for Brad Pitt in it because he's just the same guy who literally got abused by her ex-wife Angelina Jolie. And same goes with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I think does not even want to tell you that he might have ruined the careers for him. And this movie and Babylon was become the this movie literally killed Brad Pitt's acting career and his respectable PR stunt. All the critics calling Babylon was a literally killed the careers of Brad goddamn Pitt. And I say I'm not into. I would say Brad Pitt's career was pretty never recover in the same heights with the same year were from two biggest hits. The Lost City was a cameo role, and Bullet Train was a lead role. But and also, because I think this is need to move on for him. He might be the act. He never really liked it when he never wanted to become the huge star anymore. He is no longer a the huge star. He was become the least forgettable person in the world. So let me say, I hope it's going to be in this thing was to become the next Amber Heard and Johnny Depp problem. So I hope it's going to be terrible, to say the least. So hashtag Brad Pitt is a abuser. That's what they get. Shame on him, Brad Pitt. Shame on you. And NG too. Hashtag I stand with. Nah, forget it. I'm not doing that. Alright. Thanks and have a good day. And please do not watch Babylon. Watch Megan instead. He's a robot.